Hello, conscious breathers, infinite beings alike, breath family. So, we have a special guest today, Mr. Lockwood, Tommy Lockwood, good brother of mine. All right, here we go. Hello, brother.
Greetings, brother. How's everything?
Good, been a busy day up and down Miami.
That's right. That's right.
And
Happy
you?
to have you. Yeah, it's been very fruitful. A lot of beautiful forward movement. A lot of great people that I got to connect with in conversations and advancing forward ever. There's so much to discover in the realm of healing, wellness. So just happy to be one of these servants.
Likewise. So, yeah, where do you want to start? It was your idea to go live.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't quite catch the title when I jumped on board. What was it? What was the title you had set up?
Oh, it was just Breath Talk with Tommy Lockwood. So,
Breath Talk.
yeah, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be. That's just the name of the podcast, Breath Talk.
Oh, okay. I see. Well, I know that you've been talking a lot about scalar, and what comes to the top of my mind at this time is understanding frequencies. I think that one of the most important things that we can understand about the human body is that we're not just our name, like Devon is a frequency. Tommy is a frequency that we can, write with vowels and consonants. But truly, the body has a lot of frequencies playing at the same time. That's why we call our internal structures organs, like that of a piano. It's frequency, organs, right? There's a frequency of the stomach when it's hungry, right? And we hear like brrr, all this like rumbling. That's a type of frequency. But there's simultaneously the heartbeat, the the patterns that we have in our digestive rhythm. And so when we're speaking about scalar as a frequency for healing, I find that nowadays a lot of people are not aware of how frequency technology is also reflected in the human body, and how technology in general is reflected in the human body. Like, we're speaking in a camera that is reflected upon the way that the eye functions, right? So there's just so many different things that are powerful within this. And I'm wondering what you wanted to support in that initial thought. Is something that I've been
Yeah.
meditating.
We can start off with that. Every technology known to man is literally based off the human body. From, like you were saying, the camera down to the microphone. It's based on how we listen. In that regard, going back to organs, those instruments. There was a certain point in time where certain temples or churches, quote unquote, even before they were used as churches, they would actually use instruments like that, and it would correlate with every single organ in the body.
That makes a lot of
So,
sense.
yeah, I want to touch on how our ancestors knew about frequency technology and how it would relate to the human body.
Yeah, such a fascinating topic. I think that uh, everything is frequency, and a lot of us know this because we're using Wi-Fi that gets a signal off this little device. A lot of these devices that we're speaking on are actually made of crystals that are sacred stones. In the biblical scriptures, they speak in Revelations about this beautiful city of God made of topaz, rubies, and all these sacred stones. But truly, that's why I often, feel called to repeat the ancient future, because as we're trying to mimic, we're trying to mimic a lot of these natural things into physical form. It's funny that we went to go see the movie Dune.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but Devon, myself, and a bunch of other beautiful souls along with us went to go see the movie Dune. And in this movie, they have these flying machines that are similar to dragonflies, that they can fly around, and they can use uh, the same functions of a dragonfly to move around. So, so it's very much apparent to our visual perception and what we see in Hollywood and what we see these things coming around. I think that we all laughed back in the day when we saw people with the Bluetooth in the car and they couldn't tell that they were speaking to somebody. So hopefully, there's safe technology that will facilitate that. But truly, deep down, what communication is going to imitate is the way that our cells communicate, which is telepathically, as well as other human beings, that we can be like, oh man, I was just thinking of you and you called me. Like, these little things.
Oh yeah, bioresonance. I had the mic.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thank you for
Yeah.
doing that. I know what was that, the train?
Yeah. Yeah. Bioresonance. In terms of communication, um, uh, mirror receptors in certain parts of our bodies mirror the surrounding human or environment, and our cells literally play with the frequencies going back and forth, whether that be an actual person or something close to the human body, just like the Rife machine that we've had a chance of um, experimenting with on ourselves. It literally has a plasma within the Rife machine, and our body is made of plasma,
Right, the
right?
blood. Mhm.
Exactly. The blood is literally plasma. So when you have a machine like that and you blast certain frequencies in our bodies is just mirroring what's coming off that plasma. It may be thinking that, hey, there's another human being here, and we're literally mirroring the frequencies going back and forth, and it's easier to read because we can find something within our own cells to communicate with, to have a foundational beacon to figure out, hey, what is that? And that goes way beyond what we are quote unquote thinking in the conscious mind, but that's part of the realm within our subconscious constructs of how
Right.
that communicates. And they say our whole reality is run on our subconscious mind. I think 95%.
Yeah, truly. There's so much to discover within our being, and that's why there's therapies like hypnosis that allow us to go deep into our subconscious. Um, However, I want to actually maximize and emphasize some of the things that you're sharing right now, because the highest maxim that a lot of people repeat, and it came out in the Matrix, right? When Neo's visiting the Oracle, it says, above her kitchen door, it says, "Man, know thyself," right? And I believe that that's what you know a lot of people share, and self-development. It's like, yeah, know thyself, but it's funny, know thyself, know thy cells, the cells in our body. We're speaking through a cell phone. Like, it's blatantly there in our faces a lot of times.
Cellular communication.
Exactly, the way that the cells communicate with one another, they communicate with electromagnetic frequency, with frequency. So that kind of leads to the setting it up for understanding some of the work that you've been doing with Scalar, which is essentially through one of our good friends. Well, he's become. I've been doing therapies with John for more than about a year, and then through him being exposed to some of these technologies that we both have explored, and having these machines that can block certain type of frequencies. Um, there's actually a lot of papers that have been released by the FBI and CIA speaking on these frequency devices, and there's even scalar or different frequency devices can be used for healing, but also they can be used for other things that are not so healing. But I don't want to dive into that world. But this is an interesting thing because light is frequency. There's a reason why sometimes you walk into a room like in the fluorescent light, and you can feel some type of I don't feel good in this lighting, but then you can see this beautiful architectural design where an interior designer has put the light over here, the plant over there, and you can look at it and you're like, whoa, I feel so good looking at it, because we're literally seeing frequency, transmitting that, and we are frequency. That's why we say, hey man, the vibes are good, the vibes are no good. I don't like the vibes in that place. So there's all these talks that we as human beings innately know. It's just that we just take it for granted, I think, a lot of us.
Yeah, down to the melanin within all of us. It reads light. It's very reactive to light. I've gotten the habit of anytime I know that I'm going to a place that has fluorescent light, like I try to cover up as much as I can, and it's definitely shifted my way of it enhances feeling, my perception of feeling. It enhanced that because you're diving into the light spectrum and what that is doing to the body, and you can really feel the difference going back and forth into a room and
Right.
into fluorescent light. There's one time where I did 30 days of darkness, and at that point my sensitivity to light just risen when I went into a fluorescent light. I really felt like um, it, it was like a hint of a panic attack. It was a little hint of a panic attack. And then I learned later on that fluorescent light, when it touches the skin, it gets your body more into a sympathetic response. That's how the melanin is reacting to light. And that's how we are light, quote unquote, based beings as well.
Right, which is why we can feel good when we're in the sunshine, literally. And you see sunflowers open up in this, in the heat of the day, and then they close at night. But that's interesting, man. 30 days of darkness. I don't think you've told me about this. How did you pull this off?
This was about 2 years ago when I did 30 days dry. I don't think I ever went too deep in my 30 days dry with you. But yeah, it was in complete darkness in my basement, and I took advantage of my parents flying to Jamaica at that time. And within the darkness, you start to realize there's inner light within you as well. That was a interesting experience. Like every time I would close my eyes, I could see the brightness within start to radiate more and more the more I started meditating within the darkness.
Mm.
And not just light, but you get more receptive to sound. Sound and light, they go hand in hand a little bit, right? So I was very reactive to sound. That was another feature that I felt with that whole experience.
Wow. It brings up the notion of what we experience during plant medicines, like grandmother ayahuasca, where we can take a plant medicine in total darkness and we can close our eyes and we can actually see light, like see light, literally.
Mm.
It's because each of us has a frequency, like our hearts are pumping in a type of rhythm and, you know, everything's moving. That movement is life. And so when I think about and meditate what you just shared about light, it's interesting because there's a light in my bedroom that for some reason, every time I turn it on, I just feel like this feeling of insanity. I don't know how to explain it. It feels like I don't want to be in the room. I start thinking negatively. I start feeling out of balance. So what I have done is I have three lamps, one of selenite, two of selenite and one of salt, and then one salt lamp in my bathroom. So basically, two salt lamps and two selenite lamps that are adorning my bedroom and my bathroom, and that's how I move about. I do not turn the light on too much, the big bright one, just because I don't like the way it makes me feel. It doesn't feel like it's supposed to be in my presence. You know, I'm not even sure what light it is, but have you done? Because I know we live in the same city, so we know if you
Oh,
have you done.
you're going in and out. Can you say that one more time? I'm gonna turn my mic off.
Oh, that the light in my bedroom, at least. Like, I'm not sure what frequency of light it is, but I'm feeling every time I turn it on that it throws me off balance. It doesn't feel right. So what I'm saying is that in my bedroom as replacement, I have two selenite lamps and two salt lamps as a way to move around because I don't like turning on the light. Similar to the way that you shared about exposing yourself to fluorescent light, to the skin and to the eyes, obviously, because we do receive light through the eyes and, you know, synthesize it.
And you asked a question towards the end. I don't know if you did.
Yeah, about the light bulbs. Are you aware like what kind of frequency it is? Have you ever turned your light on your bedroom?
Yeah, a couple times we have. Not too much. Like when you go in, like we mainly use the red light, the
Yeah.
infrared, all over, literally all over the house. So if we could replace that, that would be nice. That'd be
But
heavenly.
yeah, the kitchen light is okay. I'm speaking about the bedroom one, the bedroom lighting.
Yeah. So that light, I don't know what particular frequency it's on, but my research have told me that that definitely falls under the realm of fluorescent lighting. And
Mhm.
there's a particular frequency that's actually not. It doesn't resonate well with the human body. And you guys can look it up. You look up fluorescent lighting, melanin, and there's probably a bunch of studies you can find on that.
Yeah, it's pretty strange that we have to keep watch of a lot of these things. It's not just about food, it's also about the light frequency we get exposed to. And
And it makes you wonder if some of these hospitals, quote unquote, caught up to date, you would think they would take out the lighting that they had and made it more um,
soothing.
bio friendly.
Bio-friendly is a good word. Yeah, so we go into these spaces, and actually the ancient Egyptians, you know, we call them Cometians, right? They use their temples as a way of thought. Like when we're in different spaces, our thoughts are different, right? And we can even feel this in our house. We don't have to go all the way to Egypt, but let me just point this out. In certain temples, the architecture and the way that the sun comes in and the setting of it being inside of these temples induce a certain quality of thinking, similar to us being in our own homes, having a lot of clutter around, and like we're just like so it just feels this, and then you clean out your house and you're like, whoa, it feels good. It's a type of frequency that we are perceiving as well. It's very interesting.
Yeah. For Tommy's audience, I have a saying: "What you do frequently literally becomes your frequency." And um, within those spaces, also that's also another factor of the things that you do in certain spaces, in general, also permeates and create a certain frequency as well. When we went to Sun Temple in Colorado, you know, when we went inside the Sun Temple, when we went inside the Sun Temple, uh, you know, we both felt when you came in, like you felt something too, and I was in my own little world. And like, hey, yeah, I feel something too here. And we found out that that space in particular was mainly just for rituals only. They didn't sleep there. They just mainly use it for rituals for the sun and ceremonies for the sun with the sun, and did what they did in that space. So, like I said, what you do frequently becomes your frequency. If you could meditate or do any energy work, whatever the case may be, at a certain particular spot
Mm-hmm.
for 30 days straight, every time you walk by or even go into that spot, you're going to feel the resonances permeate and permeate. And that's another style of a meditative practice where you don't even have to sit down and quote unquote meditate, but just having a quote unquote positive thinking and growth mindset in a particular space. And if you can be very intentional about it, let's say a particular corner in your house or a particular space in general, and you do that continuously, day in, day out, you are going to feel the energy speak for itself. Like for me personally, the first time I've ever experienced this is when I was first getting into meditation and stuff like that. Every day I would wake up and I would say, hey, today's going to be a great day. Today's going to be a beautiful day. And then 2 months into it, as soon as I woke up, before I started speaking, I could feel a gravitational pull, like just in the atmosphere. And this is the same spot, literally in my bed, the same spot, waking up, waking up, waking up. That's like the first thing I would say every day, every day. And I could feel before I could even talk, like I really wanted to say it, and I could feel the gravitational pull. I don't even know if you want to call that gravity, but there's just something in the atmosphere that was so familiar in a sense too, but you could feel the density. You could feel the density that something was in the atmosphere way before I started speaking. So in itself, you start to create a frequency resonance. It's not just the space itself, but you tuning into a particular space of frequency, getting into that mind state. You know, what if I woke up angry and maybe I couldn't even tune in and really felt what I felt at that point in time? That's what I mean by different different resonance and frequencies and mind state as well. That's a complete package of factors that get you to that particular space. So if you can recreate those certain parameters all the time, wherever you are at a particular spot, if you can be very intentional, you'd be surprised what you start to co-create within that space.
I agree with you. The importance of that practice truly, and the way that people can understand it, is understanding that the principles of rhythm in life, you know, the seasons, where you see a tree, you know, all full of beautiful flowers, and then, you know, no flowers. It also happens in the mental states of man and women. So, you know, tuning into these practices allow us to raise that frequency bar. So when our rhythm is like, yeah, you know, it happens all the time. Everybody knows, yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then, like, you know, like 2 days later, they're like, oh man, I do not feel like working out. Because, like, we go through these ups and downs of mental states. However, you know, in this example, it's being able to utilize these affirmations, these safety nets, of course, so that way our mental states do not pivot lower into different avenues that we don't want it to, so we can stay above our our goal and we can continue to move forward in those desired ways. So that's one of the things that I take away from what you shared, because you know that's our mental states is frequency, you know, and having to relate it in the example of how people feel at the beginning of the year versus month 5. It's truly one of those interesting things. However, for the people that keep their magazine cut out of whatever it is that they want to look like, if they keep it present every time and they look at it every day, that becomes set into the frequency. So even if their mind, takes them lower back down, they're able to jump across. So it's similar to being in the ocean and having the waves come, but you being able to like go under it, so that way you don't get affected by the wave of ups and downs. Or jumping, how we can jump above the wave so it doesn't hit us. Like, it's the same type of concept, just mentally, and that's the power of working with a lot of these devices. Like, plant medicines is one, like supplements that keep your frequency up in your body, breath work to keep your frequency up. We mentioned light. So red light therapy, keeps your frequency up, keeping your space clean, keeping plants, inside of your house with, keeping the frequency up. And, that's really all it is. The body is different frequencies put together, but we mistakenly, put a name to a person. But the reality is there's so many frequencies happening right now, this second, and now, and now, and now, and now. Just different things happening in our body. Oops. I put a low power mode because my thing's running out of battery, my cells. I need to recharge them. My cell phone is needing recharging.
Aha.
Definitely. But yeah, brother, just excited to be on for a long time, I know. Just sharing a lot of beautiful thoughts that I've been meditating on for the past, 3 or 4 days, which is why I had this idea to come on with you and speak about these things. I'm not sure if you've been looking at any questions that we can ask, but we can definitely just go with that.
Yeah, what's the best kind of light bulb for the apartment or room besides sunlight? Obviously, infrared. I do also have like a portable one on my website too, which is the main reason why I put it on my website, because it's portable, and that's a huge hack for anyone. So definitely check that out. The link is in the bio. You go to breath healing tools, and it's under biohacking as well. Also, if you're interested in Tommy's services as well, he's also in the website under personal care. Someone goes, I'm a Freemason shill. We're all Freemasons, if you really think about it. Freemason it means builder. If you really think about it, it just means builder. We all are the architects of our lives, right? But personally, I'm not in any lodges or any of that.
Same. I'm not sure if I'm getting the actual feed.
Other questions? Yeah, I'm looking.
It's all good. Just wanted to thank everybody for sharing their love and light frequency, even though you guys are wherever you are, wherever you be.
Yeah. So we can literally dive into any other things on your mind when it comes to frequency and light. Even colors itself. I don't think we touched into colors. We were talking about colors a little bit yesterday.
My battery will pass. I would abruptly leave, but I do think that there are a lot of charts that show how different lights, different colors emit different frequencies, and it's similar to the way that our chakras evolve as well. Like, the purple, indigo are very high frequency colors. And then as you go down to the red, which is the root chakra, or the color of the root chakras, is definitely a lot the waves are just a lot more slower, but the higher frequency tends to be very just packed, high intensity, like on a chart, like on a polygraph that we would read, you know. But the beautiful part about it is that what I know and what people can practically take out of it is we we heal our bodies through raising our frequency. Period. That's the reason why we eat healthy and take supplements and raise the breath, because when you work with breath, we talked about it many times on the platform, what is it called, Clubhouse, that we're speaking about the ways to alkalize the body through breath. And you know, a lot of people back in the days use Alka-Seltzer, you know, if they had like their stomach aches, and it's like, hey, take some Alka-Seltzer, you're gonna feel much better. But like the word alka is in it because it's alkaline, and the way to, you know, the way to become alkaline is essentially a type of alchemy that happens inside. And you know, that's why I really enjoy the tagline of what you're doing, Devon. It's called breath alchemy, or alchemy breath work. And that's because through breath work, you are changing chemistry inside of our body, just like you would, you know, by doing other things that you would take, you know, as a supplement. But, you know, increasing oxygen does higher the frequency of the body in and of itself.
Beautifully well said, brother. Well, thank you for hopping on here. And yeah, guys, check out, his name is Tommy Lockw. I'm going to tag him after this live as well. And yeah, I'll answer some other questions. I know your battery's about to die. So yeah, thank you for hopping on.
For sure, brother. And you know, it's funny that we're going to take it 360, right? And say that I need to recharge my cell phone. And so based on that message that is very much true to me right now about this cell phone, I say a lot of us need to understand the ways that we can recharge ourselves.
Mm.
That's it. That's all it is. And so, you know, if you're looking for these things, my brother Devon, amazing stuff, amazing practices, and just here to continue to be of service, you know, with the grace of the Most High shining upon us.
Beautiful, brother. All right, see you soon. I'll be out here for the sunset.
Oh, man.
All right, brother. Peace.
All right.
I want to add real quick what Tommy was talking about, how these different frequencies harmonize with our bodies when it comes to plant medicine, herbs, etc. So there are ancient symbols that relate to each part of our bodies, and that's how in tune our ancient ancestors, you could say, were with their bodies, nature, and you could say the quote unquote most high, right? And what we do is we have a blueprint of your whole genetic makeup of the body, and that in itself produces scalar energy. So what we do is we'll take someone's picture and literally put it onto the blueprint, and even before I would put it onto the scalar machine that will give them, think, over 60 plus frequencies remotely. And it's also amplified with holography, which is holographic technology, and fiber optics. So that's all infused into one. So you could say it travels, quote unquote, faster through the ether, right? It's so funny how fiber optic technology goes well with scalar technology, because we use fiber optics for, quote unquote, faster internet, right? There was a time when we would just use satellites. Hey, Luis. Yes, that was Tommy. I'm reading some comments here. Any more questions, guys? Let's see here. Hey, Sandy. Do you believe the Earth is flat? If so, why? Well, it doesn't matter what I believe, right? We live on Earth. That should be your main important focus. What kind of water do I drink? I mainly drink coconut water, which is technically 90% water, but I like to, when it comes to drinking anything, aim to drink structured water. The more structured your water is, the easier it is on your body. And what I mean by structured water, well, water in general can be easily structured. But another hack, well, we're talking about the red light, right, in water. So I'm sure some of you are familiar with the Marne glass that I have. And you can actually go to a website, you can put any words that you want on it. And this Marne glass literally absorbs the UVA rays and infrared rays in 30 minutes into the water. They literally put rose water into this glass, and the glass lasted for over, the water lasted for over about a year. And rose water is super, super delicate. In most glasses, it will last max about a week, max. So to put rose water in that type of container and it'll last that long, that shows you that the container itself helps harmonize healing frequencies and a more bioavailable resonance of energy into the water. So one of my favorite ways of structuring water when I work with people is tell them get the red light and use the bottle. And this is mainly for people also, specifically, winter is coming. Winter's coming, right? So infrared all over the world in terms of the light spectrum with the sun, that decreases, I think, about 30%. Even here in Miami, no matter where you are, the infrared spectrum coming from the sun decreases during winter season, no matter where you are in the whole entire world. So a portable red light therapy is a huge hack, but what you can do is literally shine it over your food or drink, particularly that bottle and the red light. That's a powerful combo because it already absorbs UV rays and infrared rays. And if you already have that bottle and you already know about the red light and you've never done it yet, try it. You're gonna taste the difference of what the sun tastes like, but you're mainly gonna taste the difference of what just infrared tastes like. And I myself have done this, and it makes a huge difference because you could say I'm a water connoisseur at this point, right? All right, answering some questions. How should I breathe when I see a car accident on the freeway? I guess we'll dive into a mini breathwork session after. What happens to the stool over the processes of food elimination? It depends on the type of liquids you have afterwards. And then someone goes, what's a scalar? So scalar energy is literally 0 point energy. They fall under the same category. So instead of having point A and point B, scalar energy is instantaneous. It resides in 0 point energy. We're having a workshop on it, and those who take the workshop, you will be able to get your own scalar. And because I want to really keep the integrity of how to use a scalar, we're also going to create a community within that. And even if you miss the workshop, you can still, I'll have it on my website, and you can still go through the website and actually watch, take notes down, and there's going to be instructions within the workshop in order to get your scalar. And manifesting it, cocoa water for the win. Yeah. Or infrared structure water. If those things are something like kangen is not in your quote unquote budget, drinking the sun is another go-to as well. Ralph Miller wants to hop on live. When's the workshop? I'm gonna post it very, very soon. It's going to be November 20th. Everyone, it was a huge unanimous decision. Everyone wants 6 p.m. Eastern time. So that is happening. And if you're in Breath Family, you already have a free ticket for the Scalar workshop, so don't worry about it. Is a sound session in November online also? So you're talking about the Scalar sound bath. So that is actually in person. And if we do have another sound engineer supposedly just manifest out of nowhere like last time, I would definitely be open to creating a Zoom. But right now, we don't have anyone, at least in my vicinity, unless Animal is watching right now. And who knows, maybe I can get Breath Trio to come down and have part native do the sound and record everything. Is there? All right, so I'll type the website in here now because a lot of people are asking. Any more questions, guys? Yeah, so no exceptions when it comes to Scalar, all the way down to my close friends. Do the workshop. What would happen if you put kangen water into the glass bottle? Yeah, it still gets structured. It would have more. Literally, you're think about this. You're literally drinking the sun. That's what happens when you have the mind glass sitting in the sun for 30 minutes. That's all it needs, just 30 minutes. And it actually doesn't have to be physically in the sun. It could just be next to the window. It's perfectly fine because there are certain rays that still penetrate through the window into the glass. So that's perfectly fine. No, I do not. The breath work fills the void. Someone asked about food cravings. Breath work fills the void. Efficient breathing fills the void. Someone wants to hop on live. I definitely want to do the workshop. There's so many layers of healing. Yeah. I like how Tommy brought up crystals. Crystals. Do you know there's crystals really in your phone right now? So when when someone is saying crystals are evil or any of that, remind them that crystals are also literally in their phone. So if they think crystals are bad, tell them to stop using their phone. Crystals. That's an interesting topic. There's crystals also within your brain and your nose. There's also, I think, magnetite within the nasal cavity. I'm going to do a mini reel on that. If someone has obstructed nasal pathways, can they still do breath work? Asking for a friend, of course. I don't know if you're new here, but look up Dane on my channel. He has a deviated septum, and by the way, he owns a nature store in New York, so he has to wear the mask, and it was really hard for Dane to breathe. So 2 months working together with Dane, he could literally breathe like there's no mask, and that's within 2 months, and having the deviated septum for over years. It's like, I don't want to compare it, but it falls under the category. There we go. It falls under the category of someone not being able to see for so long, and that's the main consensus when I work with people who had deviated septums. It's a huge breath of fresh air, literally. And there was one lady that I worked with, and you could really hear how hard it was for her to breathe. And if I were to do a time lapse of every recorded video that we did, you could hear how because her nasal cavity was, she had surgery on her nose, so that's how bad it was. It was technically much worse than the deviated septum. Like every time she inhaled, it would be like a type of whistle, um, and you could tell she was really struggling. So just like anything, your nose, it's a muscle. When you build that muscle, it's going to be easier for you to breathe and literally create passages within your muscle fibers. Those little tiny hairs get stronger. I'm talking about the muscle fibers that hold those hairs together get stronger. And when those hairs get stronger, what's happening? More blood flow, but not just that, more electrical kinetic force. You can inhale, exhale as you're creating it back and forth. And that's where mass healing can really take place as well. Yeah, exactly. I want to help him, but he gets a headache when he tries it and does it together. All right. Let's do a mini one. So I'm going to do one, and this may actually help your friend. This is one of my favorites to do with people who have deviated septums in particular. So we're going to be doing some thunder breathing on the nose. So just use your index finger, and you see your bone right here, right? So on your inhales, what I want you to do is continuously tap your nasal. And then on your exhales, you're still tapping. And then I'm going to say hold. When I say hold, you're going to let all the air out, and I want you to push on the points where you are tapping on your bone. Right there. Push, and then let go into pure silence where you can't hear the breath at all. And relax your hands, relax your fingers. You can do this while walking. You can do this. This is one of my fun ones. This is my fun method of breath walking, I like to call it. When I get to the holding part, I would stop midway from walking. I would just stop midway, hold, relax, chill, and then I would walk again. So this is a way to implement breath work literally while walking. They literally go hand in hand. All right. So before we start, set your intentions. What are you accepting more of literally with every breath, whether that be a religious construct that you believe in, whatever the construct may be. Breathe that in, breathe that out. Set the intention right now. Relax. And for every exhale that you do, I want you to squeeze everything you go to the bathroom with and let go on the inhales. So every exhale, you squeeze. Every inhale, you let go. The only continuous thing you're doing as well is tapping your nose. All right? For those advanced breath workers out there, on the exhale holds, you can suck in your stomach, do the Uddiyana Bandha, and really bring everything up. And you can also squeeze your pelvic floor, or literally everything, go to the bathroom while you do the holding as well. So do about 3 sets. All right. So start tapping. Set your intentions with every breath. Only with the nose we are breathing with, no mouth breathing whatsoever. And we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hold the next one. Hold the exhale. Press real hard. Whenever you're ready to let go, relax. Breathe where you can't hear the breath at all. Slow down your exhales. Let that inhale come in naturally. Feel the vibratory resonance on your nose, on your nasal cavity. All right. Let's get your hands in position, your fingers in position. And we're going to start round 2 in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hold the next one. Hold the exhale. Relax if you haven't already. Breathe where you can't hear the breath at all. Deeper and deeper exhales. Let go of your pelvic floor. Relax your shoulders. Breathe only with the nose. All right, round 2. Get your fingers in position. Start tapping, and we're going to start with the inhale in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hold the next exhale. Breathe into silence. You can stop squeezing. Breathe where you can't hear the breath at all. Deeper and deeper exhales. Let that inhale come in naturally. And really slow down your exhales. Remember why you're breathing. Whatever intention you had starting. Thank you all for sharing the breath. Can you explain what squeezing the pelvic floor does while you exhale the body? The feeling I get is my kundalini energy spiraling up my third eye. So it builds contrast, that's one. There's some breath works out there that tells you to squeeze on the inhale. But something to note, you create a disharmony that way, and I'll go into why. Your pelvic floor itself literally has its own diaphragm. Did you know that? Your pelvic floor has its own diaphragm. So why wouldn't I want to harmonize with the 70% of my blood being pumped a certain way and contrasting in terms of the bigger diaphragm, hence your lungs, where your lungs are? Why wouldn't I want to harmonize with that versus going against it? Think about it. So you're creating harmony just by that alone. You're creating a harmonic resonance in your body doing that. When you said hold the exhale, are you meaning exhale then hold? Yes, that's what I mean. Right. Does anyone want to join live and quickly share their experience? Or, yeah. Respect. Much love, True Vision. Hey, Embody. So that one's a really good one to do if you are someone with a deviated septum. That's one of my favorites to do with people with deviated septums in general. It synchronizes with locking the tongue. Yeah. For that one, you really don't have to. But that was a great beginner because everyone here is not too advanced. I can see that. So, yeah, I just wanted to focus mainly on those two. Because with all the locks some people get, it may be too much for them. So, I've been catering more to simplifying, but super effective at the same time. But those are just icing on the cakes. What's the practice? So guys, if you are interested in more of this as I get the countdown, if you're interested in more, tap into, if you want more breath conscious content, we have a breath library that's filled with 100+ tutorial videos in the Alchemy Breath Family members group. There's also subliminal breathwork music, even for fasting, pregnant. There's also scalar infused music in there as well. If you've been learning from my feed about scalar, so much value in there, regardless. And you also, if you're also a part of Breath Family, if you didn't hear the news, you are going to get a free ticket to the Scalar workshop. So definitely check out the pricing when I post the Scalar workshop and the pricing of the members group. And really think, if you're one of those that's been on the fence about joining the members group, check out the pricing for the Scalar. I think that's going to incentivize you to join the members group and see the immense value in there. But yeah, the website is alchemybreath.work if you're interested in more breath conscious content and a lot of biohacking tools that you can use in your everyday life beyond the sit down session. Peace and blessings. Thank you all.